So that was the Vitamin String Quartet's version of The Speed of Pain. I've played Vitamin String Quartet on a few other shows. Say they do covers of popular songs from all different genres, everything from grunge, classic rock to goth, and just everything. They are really worth checking out. Like I say, I managed to get a discography of theirs pretty much, so I have everything they've done, and yeah, it's pretty comprehensive. It's amazing, just the stuff that they've done. It's awesome. I've got a bit of a treat for you guys now. I'm not sure if all of you know, but there was a long time ago when Tim Burton was first starting out, he did an amazing claymation film called Vincent. And I've taken the audio from that claymation film because it features the vocal talent of one Mr. Vincent Price. So here in its entirety is Tim Burton's Vincent.
Vincent Malloy is 7 years old. He's always polite and does what he's told. For a boy his age, he's considerate and nice. But he wants to be just like Vincent Price. He doesn't mind living with his sister, dog, and cats, though he'd rather share a home with spiders and bats. There he could reflect on the horrors he's invented and wander dark hallways alone and tormented. Vincent is nice when his aunt comes to see him, but imagines dipping her in wax for his wax museum. He likes to experiment on his dog, Abercrombie, in the hopes of creating a horrible zombie. So he and his horrible zombie dog could go searching for victims in the London fog. His thoughts, though, aren't only of ghoulish crime. He likes to paint and read to pass some of the time. While other kids read books like Go, Jane, Go, Vincent's favorite author is Edgar Allan Poe. One night, while reading a gruesome tale, he read a passage that made him turn pale. Such horrible news he could not survive, for his beautiful wife had been buried alive. He dug out her grave to make sure she was dead, unaware that her grave was his mother's flower bed. His mother sent Vincent off to his room. He knew he'd been banished to the Tower of Doom, where he was sentenced to spend the rest of his life alone with the portrait of his beautiful wife. While alone and insane, encased in his tomb, Vincent's mother burst suddenly into the room. She said, "If you want to, you can go out and play. It's sunny outside and a beautiful day." Vincent tried to talk, but he just couldn't speak. The years of isolation had made him quite weak. So he took out some paper and scrawled with a pen, "I am possessed by this house and can never leave it again." His mother said, "You're not possessed and you're not almost dead. These games that you play are all in your head. You're not Vincent Price, you're Vincent Malloy. You're not tormented or insane, you're just a young boy. You're 7 years old and you are my son. I want you to get outside and have some real fun." Her anger now spent, she walked out through the hall. And while Vincent backed slowly against the wall, the room started to sway, to shiver and creak. His horrid insanity had reached its peak. He saw Abercrombie, his zombie slave, and heard his wife call from beyond the grave. She spoke from her coffin and made ghoulish demands, while through cracking walls reached skeleton hands. Every horror in his life that had crept through his dreams swept his mad laughter to terrified screams. To escape the madness, he reached for the door, but fell limp and lifeless down on the floor. His voice was soft and very slow as he quoted The Raven from Edgar Allan Poe. And my soul from out that shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted nevermore.
Wasn't that awesome? That was Vincent Price reading Tim Burton's Vincent. Like I say, it's one of Tim Burton's first pieces of work, and it's a claymation film. You can find it on YouTube. If you enjoyed that, I can thoroughly recommend going and watching the full film, which is the same length, but obviously has animation to go with the amazing audio of Vincent Price's voice. I hope that the cat screeching in that didn't make everyone jump out of their skin. But yeah, it's great, that, isn't it? It's really good fun. So I've got time for a couple more tunes before the end of the show. So I'm going to play you a piece of music box music. I don't know who this is originally by. I tried to find out, but it's a piece called Quiet Slumber. I think it's very creepy, and I hope that you all enjoy it, because it certainly creeped me out the first time I heard it. I thought it was really spooky. So that was Musicbox-Quiet Slumber there. So sorry about that. The very last track that I was going to play, I realised I've played on a previous show, so I had to quickly rustle something up to close the show with. So I'm going to close the show with an amazing track by Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. This is The Curse of Milhaven, and it starts loud, so if you've got things turned up loud, then you might want to turn it down just for the opening.
I live in a town called Milhaven, and it's small, and it's mean, and it's cold. But if you come around just as the sun goes down, you can watch the whole thing turn to gold. It's around then that I used to go a-roaming, la-la-la-la, la-la-la-la. Oh, God's children, they all gotta die. My name is Loretta, but I prefer Lottie. I'm closing in on my 15th year. If you think that you've seen a pair of eyes more green, then you sure haven't seen them around here. Well, my hair is a yellow and I'm always a combing. La 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 la, la 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 la. My mama often told me that we all got to die. You must have heard about the curse of Milhaven, how last Christmas Bill Blakey's little boy didn't come home. They found him the next week up in 1 Mile Creek with his head bashed in and his pockets full of stones. Well, just imagine all of the wailing and moaning, la 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 la, la 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 la. Even Bill Blakey's boy, he had to die. Then Professor O'Rye from Milhaven High found nailed to his door his prize-winning terrier. The next day the old fool brought little Biko to school, and we all had to watch as he buried her. Well, his eulogy to Biko had all the tears flowing, la 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 la, la 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 la. Even God's little creatures, they have to die. Our little town fell into a state of shock. A lot of people were saying things that made little sense. The next thing you know, the head of Handyman Joe was found in the fountain of the mayor's residence. Well, foul play can really get a small town going. La 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 la, la 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 la. Even God's children, they have to die. In a cruel twist of fate, old Mrs. Colgate was stabbed, but the job was not complete. Well, the last thing she said before the cops pronounced her dead was, my killer is Loretta and she lives across the street. Oh, 20 cops burst through my door without even phoning. La 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 la, la 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 la. The young ones and the old ones, they all got to die. Yes, it is I, Lottie, the curse of Milhaven. I've struck horror in the heart of this town. Like my eyes ain't green and my hair ain't yellow, it's more like the other way around. I got a pretty little mouth underneath all the foaming. La 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 la, la 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 la. Sooner or later, we all gotta die. Since I was no bigger than a weevil, they've been saying I was evil, that a bed was a boot that I'd fitted, that I'm a wicked young lady, but I've been trying hard lately. Oh, fuck it, I'm a monster, I admit it. Well, it makes me so mad that my